Hello, Grizzly here, citizen of New Babbage, but currently I'm out near the Lagrange point in Crusader, and we're going to go out and do some mining. Thought you might want to come along, check it out. So this is my trusty prospector, number 1.
Commander.
Not you, Eden. We'll get to you in a moment. And did a little modification to it. Basically, I took the front mining apparatus and added a few modules to it to help me refine as well as filter out some of the waste material, the junk rock, and increase my yield. Today's target is going to be Quantanium, and the secret to the Iron Hail is you want to be just outside the orbit of Crusader from wherever you're starting from. If it's Arc L1, you want to get about here. Microtech would be really tough. You'd have to travel quite a distance to get to the correct point about here, which is why I don't do much Quantanium mining from there. I usually do planetary mining. With Stanton, you just have to head out to Arc L4 and pass the Crusader L3 point a little bit. But wherever you are, it's the same deal. So from Crusader, where our Lagrange 1 point is actually inside the orbit of Crusader, and we need to get outside. So usually lock in course at Arc L3. So I'll set my route. Who's there?
Hello, I'm Eden. Who's in command?
Grizzly, I'm in command.
Voice print recognized. Thank you. Requesting permission to come aboard.
Permission granted.
Acknowledged. Integrating. Stand by. Done.
You're number 1. Engines on?
Engines online.
Engines on.
Gear up?
Gear up.
Landing gear up.
Decouple.
Flight assist.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Spool quantum drive. Engage jump drive.
Engaging jump drive.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Commander.
Now that we're on route, clear the route and reset it to come back to our Lagrange 1 point. Now I can watch the kilometers ticking up, and gives me an idea of the distance traveled. This time I'm going to jump out to about 6 million. It's been a while since I've done the Iron Hail out in this part of the system.
Quantum travel complete.
That's better. It's all about 6 million. So now I make a mental mark that from Crusader L1 it's about 6 million miles towards Arc L3, and you'll end up in Iron Halo. Now we'll bring up our radar scope. We'll give out a ping. This gives us an idea where some targets may lay. Looks like we got one right up here towards this direction, about 7 kilometers away. Couple.
Coupling.
Advantage of coupling is I have less free flight, although I do like to go on a decoupled flight as much as possible because it is a more realistic Newtonian system. It makes for a more interesting flight.
Mining mode on.
So on the right you see scanning, it says M-type, so right away I know this is not Quantanium rock. It does have hephaestonite, which is a rare resource but in a small quantity, so this is not a rock that I would mine. Enable mining mode.
Mining mode on. Extraction mode on.
Sometimes you have trouble getting a lock, and if you cycle from
Extraction mode on.
to extraction mode and then back again, sometimes you'll pick up and be able to pick up the rock. This rock doesn't seem to want to be scanned, so we're just going to bypass it. This is an E-type asteroid. You see corundum, diamond, gold. I can get that anywhere. So we're going to keep on going, keep searching. The hard parts of Quantanium
Mining mode
mining
off.
is patience. It takes a while to find the right rock. And even when you do find Quantanium, you want a rock with a decent amount in it, not just grab the first one you come across. Picked up a number of targets here. 2 asteroids together we found is usually a good indication. A lot of times you'll get one of them to be Quantanium of a small amount and one will be Quantanium of a large amount. So we usually get a little excited when we see 2. Enable mining mode. And there you go, Quantanium
Mining
type.
mode on.
So here's our quarry. 5,000 mass, good size for this ship. Now that one has 6.69%, which means this one might have more. No, only 2.10. So this is the bigger of the 2. Now, if you're doing a mole, that's probably something you might even pass up on, but with Prospector, that's not bad. So now we're watching in the upper left and watching the out of range marker. Soon it'll start filling up, and we want to get so we're as close as it wants us to be to get the most efficient energy. 150 is minimum. You can see you really actually get pretty close to these. And there we are, about 30 meters out. I've activated my mine laser. On the left you can see I've got 3 modules attached. One is for the filtering, one is the focus, and it'll increase my laser power at the cost of instability. Instability is the fluctuations you get. And then the third one is resistance, lowers resistance, also with some instability. Now one of the things I need is the indicator for the asteroid, which I'm not seeing, so I'm switching modes really quick.
Fracturing mode
I'm going
on.
back and now I can see. So the idea is to get into that green optimal band without getting into the red overcharge. So I'm slowly increasing power until I see the charge level on the bottom right of the right side circle. Another thing you do is find a part of the rock where you don't see as many sparks flaring off, and that's being maximum energy into the rock. So we're probably going to go all the way up to 100% at least to start. And I can see the white starting to tick up. Now mining these rocks, it's always a two breaks situation. First breaks the larger rock to smaller chunks, but still not ones you can pick up. And then the second break breaks those up into chunks that you can pick up. Now we suspect, although it's not been 100% proven, the evidence shows that if you get the first break, at the point of break, if it is as close to the word optimal as you can get it without and still allowing it to pop it, you get a better split of materials. You may get rocks that are 100% inert, and other rocks that may be 100% Quantanium, which is ideal because then you can really suck up the juicy part. Quantanium is a patience game. This is one type of mining where you do not want to overcharge level. Quantanium is very explosive, and if you lose control of the pot, you'll very likely blow your ship and yourself up. And that green option, I'm starting to roll back my charge rate, trying to find a sweet spot where it's right about there. Let's just roll in there. That's really good. That wasn't my best break, but you see that piece right there is 100% inert, so I know it's just junk rock. Nothing there I want. This one's got 17% Quantanium, so I am going to break that one. Same basic procedure. I fell low on control, so I rolled it way back. It's just better to go in under control than to try to hastily make corrections. It's not the end of the world to drop down into the safe zone and then go back. There's no penalty for taking longer. Okay, now what you do not want to do is start picking up Quantanium right now. Once you do, you have about a 14-minute window to get back at the space station before it becomes unstable and blows up. So you want to make sure you got everything ready to go before you pick up the first piece, because that will start the timer, even if it's a small little chunk. Now it's 23% of the lower mass is 709. Remember, the original asteroid is over 5,000 mass. So the chunk is smaller, but you want to get as much purity in your cut as you can. 5 in there. But there's a good amount of quartz. Quartz is not a bad product to pick up. Some people are purists and all they want is Quantanium. I'll take anything with profit. This will be the last one I'd pick up though, because that's 93% inert. So don't really want that one unless we have room and I'm just in a hurry. So we're not going to pick up this one in the middle. We're going to pick up the 3 around it. And then this one was mainly quartz. I won't pick that up unless I've got everything else. Again, 100% quartz. There's 42% Quantanium there. And 44 here. So here we go. Switching to extraction mode, turning it on. We're starting to pick up, and on the far right you see cargo. When that hits 32, we're done. The clock has started. So we got 7 minutes before the alarm starts going off, 14 minutes before the ship blows up. So you want to be efficient, but you don't have to be crazy. map out so you know which rock is which. You don't have to wait for the scanner to tell you which this was the one that had Quantanium. But if you hit this one and you say inert, okay, now you can just pass on. 14, 15, 16. That was a good sized chunk there. Now I honestly can't remember which one this was. At the 5%. I know that one is a lot of junk, so I'm actually going to pick up the quartz. I'd rather have 100% quartz than mostly junk a little bit of Quantanium. This one, which was for quartz. Now we'll go back to this one. And I'll top this off at 32. Cargo's full. Turn engine. Mining laser off.
Mining mode off.
Spool quantum drive. If you get a little lost, just keep in mind where the sun is in relation to your target. But you see that little yellow caret right there? That's home base. I have a very preset destination, so I don't have to go looking for it. Once it's full up, engage warp drive. Engage quantum drive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just taking an electronic sneeze. I use voice attack. This is the Eden module. It's handy because anything that I can't do with my joystick and throttle, I can speak a command and she does it, so I don't have to go be reaching for the keyboard all the time. Sometimes I do. Most of the time I try to let her do the keyboard commands. One you can't do is asking for landing permission, which is an annoyance to me. I wish that it was mapped out in such a way that you could program that in, but I haven't figured that one out yet. Now, if your timer ran down to the 7-minute mark, you'd start getting a flashing yellow light, which is on the actual ship screens. It's a little nodule sticking down on the right. It says volatile cargo. If that starts to light up yellow, it's okay. It's just give me a 7-minute warning. If it starts flashing red, you're in trouble. At that point, you better dump your cargo before it blows. You can actually push that button and drop it. There's a keyboard command for it. I have never had to do that, however. Just gotta be mindful of your time and don't start picking up the Quantanium until you're ready. There's the range point. A gravitational point where the planet and sun's gravity cancel each other out and material naturally flows. Neat trick if you didn't know it. If you wait at a Lagrange point for your cooldown clock to come down, you can make a second shorter jump to get you a lot closer to station faster than just running into your engines. So long as there isn't a big old rock in between you and it. So we're at 72 kilometers. Engage jump drive.
Acknowledged.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Now just be mindful of your speed. You can ask for landing permission once you're inside that ring of lights. It's pretty much marking the do not fire armistice stone. Really important when it's a refinery. The last thing you need is a straight bullet hitting a refinery and blowing up a bunch of Quantanium and take this whole place out. Lower landing gear.
The landing gear is down and locked.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Landing gear down.
15.1 glitch. Alright, F1. Go to communications, friends, and station. Start slowing down.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
There's our yellow light, submit mark. Decouple.
Flight assist on.
Engines off.
Engines offline.
Engines off.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
In an extreme emergency, if you're coming in, you want to try to save your load and it's been flashing for a while, you can kill yourself. I consider that less than honest gameplay. I just have a personal prohibition against it, but I know some people use that. Once you die, of course, your ship's automatically stored and you don't have to worry about it. And now, once I've stored the ship, you don't have to worry about the timer anymore. You're all good because it's a facility that won't let explode at this point. Stabilizes the cargo, however they want to explain it. Next stop in your mining career, and this is going to be different on each Lagrange station because each Lagrange station has a different layout, but you got to find the interstation transit. And it's going to have a special refinery deck. Just like the stations in orbit of the planet have a cargo deck, these Lagrange stations have the refinery. And this is the refinery deck. Let's see if I can get this so we can good look-see. You can see some of the vats getting cores and materials from different mining ships. The reason the refinery is here is you saw all the rocks and asteroids are caught in the Lagrange area. So ostensibly the base here would be pulling in asteroids for them to mine themselves.
Form into building.
So, well, you could go there and sell the ore directly, but if you're doing mining for a career, you're always going to want to use the refinery. Now I have one here that's been completed, and if I had a ship that could take materials, you could click here and move it to that ship to take it. Something like a freelancer or that kind of line. So you can see these are the items that I actually have. Now these are items I've mined. I haven't paid for them. I brought them in and had them refined. I paid the small fee to do that. So this, when I go to sell it, is pure profit as opposed to trading where you have to go someplace, buy the materials, to sell them somewhere else, and your profit margin is the difference between the price you bought it and the price you sold it. Here, my cost is just the cost of my time, keeping my ship contained, and paying a small fee for them to refine it. Everything else is profit, so it's closer to pure profit. Also on the side you have the different types of materials that have either specialized or don't specialize in at this station. the ones that specialize, they got a bonus yield. So this is extra material you'd get from other stations as opposed to other stations. Red would be less. So corundum, I wouldn't want to take mine corundum here or take it here. But you see, Quantanium's got a 3% bonus. So, which is one of the reasons why this is a great station. So I go to my MISC prospector, say set up work order. You can see it has 2290 refinable material, 910 inert. And inert is junk rock that I didn't want to pick up because I'm not going to get anything out of it. But that's a pretty good ratio there. Now going over here, there's a couple different methods you can pick from. I always used to use Dynex solventation. It takes the longest, a day, day and a half, but it gave you the most bang for your buck. But I've now become a fan of the Ferron exchange, partly because my last name is Ferris, so Ferron's easy to remember. But mostly it's low speed, which is like the other one, moderate costs, so it costs a little more than the other one, but it's still with a high yield. So I still get high yield but the low speed isn't as low as the other method. So when I hit refine the quartz, the beryl, and the Quantanium, and I hit get quote, it tells me my total cost is $3,059. So that's my cost going in, as opposed to like doing cargo running where that would be cost of you buying the material. And it's only going to take 9 hours, and that's the key. The other method could take much longer. So now, whether I'm here or not, whether I go log off or not, whether I come back in another server, this is all off the server. So this is safe. As this material is getting processed and you see right now they just did the first unit of quartz. But as this gets converted over, this bar will fill up, and then I can come back with the cargo ship, pick it up, and take it to market to sell. This one, it's all ready to go, so anytime I come with a cargo ship, I can pick up all this material, which I got from a planetary surface, and take it to get sold. So that's just the mining as of this version of Star Citizen 15.1. I hope it was informative. The scanner is a little different than the last time I did one of these things. I don't mind it. I still think the scanning needs a bit of tweak improvement, but you can also go down here under the deck and you can buy a bunch of materials, including the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man Soup, or another mining rig. You can get the Gray Cat multi-tool with mining attachment or tractor beam. You can get any number of these modules like the ones I showed you that are on the front of my mining rig. So basically bought the ones I wanted here, and then on the ship modification, attached it to the mining laser. And you do that under F1. Second tab in, Vehicle Loadout Manager. Pick your ship.
See anything you like?
And then under Utility, you got your mining laser rig. And then sub-item slots, that's where you put those modules. You can take them in, off, you can change them, you can change your mining head. Just remember that anything you take off here is going to be at the station you took it off at. So if I took it off here and then went back home to New Babbage, say, I'll be leaving them behind here. I'd have to come back to them. That seems to be the hardest thing to get used to with this new inventory system, is having stuff left at the station and not brought with you, unless you can load them in the ship. Unfortunately, Prospector only has one SCU in space, and it's not big enough to put an entire mining head in, which seems a little screwy to me, but that's That's what
Today's scheduled waste disposal has been postponed until further
I'm
notice.
going to go back out, see what else I can find, and thanks for watching.